What's up, Bronco Nation? I'm Evan Sanford, and today I'm joined by Chris Van Sickle and Chase Glorfield, and we are the Bronco Country Roundup. No Carter Davis today for good reason. We decided to be very nice to him and gave him a little bit of paternity leave because he and his wife just welcomed their
I was against
firstborn.
it, but the grind doesn't stop, Carter.
It was 2-1. We overruled you.
Well, congratulations to Carter and his wife on welcoming their first child. And we'll look forward to seeing a bunch of pictures. And Carter, we'll see you soon.
With bags under his eyes, probably.
Yes.
Probably. And also shout out to a couple of my friends, Scott and Janet. I don't know if they're listeners of the podcast, but they just announced their pregnancy and revealed that they are having a boy in July. So congrats, guys. Lots of baby announcements, I guess, today. But let's get on to some Bronco news because we've actually got quite a bit to talk about today. We've got recruiting, National Signing Day, as if that really kind of matters anymore. That is this Wednesday. The original signing day. For those of you who are like, wait, didn't it already happen? That's early signing day is in December, and the official signing day is still in February.
The OG signing day.
The OG signing day. So that's going on. We'll cover that. We have transfers in, transfers, or well, maybe a transfer out. I don't know. We're going to talk about that one. That's a little bit funky. We've got some opinions on that one. Boise State basketball has bounced back. No pun intended, or was it?
I prefer my puns intended.
I'll take any pun you can give me.
We'll talk about the basketball team, little Pac-12 talk, a little bit of coaching news, and then we have some fun content. So sit back, relax, and just take it all in because it is the off season, and well, there's not as much Boise State content to go around. So enjoy it while it lasts. All right, so Chris, Chase, we're gonna start with you guys with recruiting. Well, who wants to take it first? Who's some of the new commits or new visits or
Chase, I'll take Bethel if you'll take Markel. How about that?
Absolutely, sounds good.
All right, let's start with Bethel. How did you pronounce his last name, Evan? I liked how you said it.
I think it's the way I read it, I think it's Imison.
Imison. Okay, I like that.
Works for me.
That was better than I would have pronounced it. Yeah. So Bethel Imison, he is a defensive tackle from California, but he's actually from the UK. He is a foreign exchange student who came over here, and hey, turns out he's pretty darn good at football. He's going to come in.
And Boise State is putting together the United Nations on the defensive line. Max Stieg from Germany. Bethel from England, and Lopez Sanusi from Ireland. Oh boy, I think we need to
get some Asia representation in
here.
Yeah,
get us like a Japanese nose tackle or
there
something.
We go.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Continue.
It's all right. No, so yeah, Bethel, he's coming in. He's new to football. Let's just be honest. He's just learning the techniques and everything, so he's going to take some time to develop. But overall, if you look at his film, this is a very explosive athlete. Let him sit and marinate, learn, and then I have high hopes for this young man. And Chase, I believe your guy kind of has the same kind of story, maybe.
Yeah. So. Got Markel Bowens out of Highland High School in Pocatello. Boise State, it's interesting their efforts to recruit in Eastern Idaho have been hit and miss, probably a little more miss than hit over the years. It's just kind of hard. I consider that pretty heavily BYU territory, for lack of a better, I don't know, just that's kind of how I look at it. But Markel Bowens out of Highland. Highland's one of the best football programs in the state of Idaho, 6A. He's a big boy. He's at 6'5", 225. He's listed as an edge. He's framed to add some more. I could see him moving inside a little bit too when he gets to Boise State. It was a late addition there, and he looks big. If you watch his film, he's a big boy. He looks a lot bigger than a lot of those other kids out there. So it's an intriguing prospect. I think he has a pretty high ceiling. He's got to put that work into the weight room and really get things going on that end.
Excellent. And Chris, can we talk about the commit that we can't talk about?
We can talk about it.
He who shall not be named.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, I don't like taking these moments away from these young men. I know who's committed. It's a running back. He's got a high ceiling, and we all should be excited about it. But I'm not going to break the news. That's his business. But we do have a running back commit. He should be coming out within the next day or two, and I'm excited for this young man. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be coming. Obviously before National Signing Day.
Yeah, and let the man have his moment. Don't freak out if it isn't as soon as you hear this podcast. If there still isn't a commit, just let him have his moment.
Yeah,
it'll come when it comes.
And don't DM me. I'm not going to tell you over a DM either, because I've had that.
He cannot be bribed. He cannot be bribed.
Yeah.
For those of you looking to get into the journalism game, what Chris is doing by keeping it to himself and letting the guy have his moment, that's how you get in with the recruits and build trust with these kids. So just so you know.
Yeah. And it's all pretty exciting. So we also had a decommit, Tyrell Brown, by the looks of it. He will not be coming to Boise State. Is that correct, boys?
Yeah, it was a JUCO D-line, like a nose tackle, an inside guy. And I think he's been decommitted for a little bit, like they officially announced it a couple weeks ago. But that's why, and Chris, you can probably back me up here, the David Latu, the former BYU guy, I think that was his replacement.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
and a good replacement for that. So let's not stress about it too much.
And we have some fun news because we have a new number 1 ranked recruit in this class, and that's Jabri Bickham. He is now bumped from a 3-star to a 4-star, and he's coming to Boise State as a defensive back, and he is hella talented.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a guy who could play both ways? I could see Jabri Bickham play both ways.
Heisman?
Automatic Heisman, right? I mean, we're bringing him in as a defensive back, and he's just super talented. 6'3", 180, I think he read.
180.
Well, obviously you need to put on some weight, but boy, if he could get to about 210, 215, he'll be a thumper back there.
Yeah,
so.
And we said DB, but probably safety.
Yeah.
I guess it depends how that body grows and develops over the next year or two, but probably safety. A 6'3", 220, 215 thumper back there is fun with ball skills.
On the offensive side of the ball, what position did he play in high school?
Wide receiver. He was very talented. He was, yeah.
You see, I always like that because I think about these guys who maybe play both ways. And I just think Richard Sherman, wide receiver at Stanford, comes into the NFL, changes positions to defensive back, and then leads the league in interceptions. That helps. Those skills that they develop at the various positions help. They transfer over, and I love that. So a little bit of flexibility. I'm looking forward to watching Jabri Bickham in the future. Maybe not next year per se, but maybe. Very, very exciting.
Maybe top rated recruit in the class. So
90 overall.
We got some good ones. So that's it's impressive.
Yeah.
So we also have, and I don't know if there's been an official offer yet, but we have a kicker on campus who might bring up some bad memories for Bronco.
Yeah, he's been on campus before.
He's been here before.
Unfortunately,
he kind of ripped our hearts out a couple years ago. Colton Boomer, the UCF transfer.
Such a good last name.
Yeah, it's a great
excellent name
for a kicker for sure.
Kicker, linebacker, anyone over the age of 65.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent name.
Yes. Well said. Well said.
Well said.
Took me a second, actually. I was like, what? Oh, yeah.
Colton Boomer, hopefully that visit went well because we'd love to see him boom some. Oh, man, I don't have any puns. Dang it. Anyways.
It's interesting to see what the staff is doing. Retooling the defensive line clearly has been a big thing. And then the secondary, the defensive backs. And then they're searching for something in the kicking game, I think. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, that'd be kind of fun. Just like a little bit of not necessarily redemption. What's the word? If Colton Boomer were to hit a clutch kick for us, that'd be an interesting arc.
We would forgive him, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have a walk-on offer to local quarterback Jack Benson. He's from Eagle, Idaho, and he was a junior college kid.
Someone else here is from Eagle, Idaho.
Yeah, Eagle Mustangs. Yeah, that's my alma mater. Jack Benson went and played JUCO ball. Was a 3-star prospect coming out of high school. So I mean, don't just see JC and think he's nothing. Jack's got some great tape. I look at it and see a guy who's extremely accurate, can push the ball down the field, but also is very athletic and can make runs on the throw. So he is being offered as a walk-on at this point. So that's something that can change. Max Cutforth came in as a walk-on and he's on scholarship now. So that's not to think any less of him. He's just got to put in the work. So we'll hopefully be hearing about that within the next couple days. And but happy for Jack. Jack's a kid I've been messaging with for quite a while. He's been wanting this opportunity. He is the young. I've said on I think the Corral and then another podcast I was on that they had a quarterback working out for them on Friday, and that was Jack. And Jack came in and must have impressed because he was given that walk-on offer on today, I think, or yesterday. So
yeah, and this is interesting. The quarterback situation with Boise State. You say, oh, they've missed out on a couple kids, and yeah, I guess you could say that. But if you're a transfer coming in or a freshman or an incoming guy, and you see that there's a redshirt sophomore who just is the entrenched starter, like that's not super duper, I don't know, appealing, I guess, of a position to try and come in and compete for that. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do if they roll with what they have. We talked about this before we recorded that the depth behind Madsen has a big time lack of experience, which is a little worrisome. But you never know. Never know what could happen.
Yeah, I think it's something that we've talked about before. It's far easier to recruit a 26 quarterback than it is a 25 quarterback. Because you're talking about a kid who's probably going to have to sit for at least 2 years or before they get an opportunity for the starting job. Presumably Maddox, he's got two more years left, headed into his redshirt junior season, and he's going to start both of them barring any kind of injury or unforeseen circumstance. So you're talking about a kid who's going to have to sit for 2 years and then have to compete versus a 26 kid who would just redshirt their freshman year, which is more or less typical.
Well, and Boise State has a 26 commit,
and
right?
we have
so if you're a freshman
commit
coming in and you're like behind Madsen and then potentially behind this really high touted 26 commit, it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell for Danielson, for anyone. It'd be a hard sell.
I know my wish list was to go find like another, maybe not necessarily like with the, I mean, I love the skill set, but another Jalen Henderson, someone who has played before, a little off the radar, maybe like needed a little more time to incubate, but has some reps at this level. That would have been really nice. But Jack Benson
could be Benson.
Yeah, he has starting experience at the junior college level, which cannot be overlooked. And he's quite the arm talent. And he's a local kid.
And he went to Eagles, so he's really smart. I mean,
there you go.
I mean, obviously.
Absolutely.
Come on, guys.
Absolutely.
Well, don't look up my transcripts from Eagle High. You will not be impressed.
Oh man. That brings us to a little minor debate here. And actually, so Chris and I are about to exchange some differing opinions on this. Actually, Chase, I'm not sure if we actually got your opinion on it, but
I'll make something up on the spot. Here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Viewers, feel free to chime in on this. Cam Camper, is he transferring out or away, or is he going to the NFL? Truth be told, none of us know. We have no idea what's going on with that whole situation. We saw that that one outlet, they posted something, then they deleted it, then they posted something again, and I don't know. It just feels really clickbaity to me, but that's just my take. But is he in the portal? I don't know. So if he is, though, Chris, I'll start with you. What is your take here on the whole situation?
So Cam Camper has declared for the NFL. There are many reports from sources that are easily trusted that he's in the transfer portal as well. I look at it and see that this is a young man that just wants to leave all his options open. Danielson was quoted in an interview less than 10 days ago, I want to say, that they were still working through the process with Cam Camper. In my opinion, it would be best for Cam Camper if he's not NFL ready, which personally I don't think he is. I'm not a scout, so what do I know? You have a connection with Maddox Matson. You have a clear. They've just worked all season. He was going to be a clear number one coming into next season. You don't want to give that up. There are so many people, so many players that you see hop in the portal for greener pastures, and you just never see them again. And I'm not saying that's going to be a Cam Camper. He could hop in the portal and certainly find interest. But you have a proven connection with a quarterback that's coming back, an offensive coordinator who was not necessarily the offensive coordinator last season, but he certainly had a big part in it. So you're going to have familiarity with the offense. You're going to be number one. Don't leave and give that up for greener pastures, quote unquote, because those greener pastures quite often are not greener. So that's my opinion. I hope he comes back and he could very well come in as a preseason second team Mountain West all conference player. I just don't see how you pass on that. But that's my take on it. Evan, let's hear it.
Yeah. Now, for what it's worth, I love Cam Camper in the blue or on the blue. Absolutely, he was our wide receiver number one last year, and he would be if he came back. I think with the mileage he has on his body, meaning injuries, all that wear and tear, if he has an opportunity to go to the NFL, which I'm kind of with you, like I don't see him being anything more than a day 3 pick right now. But if he has the opportunity to go to the NFL and get some guaranteed money, get a contract, get a 4-year contract, because that's what draft picks get, you take it. Now, I think that's not the controversial point. My controversial opinion is that if he is in the portal, he should be looking for a more pass happy offense than Boise State. I think that again, he's got such wear and tear on his body that he's got one last shot to get to the NFL. He needs to show out, have a big season, and be in an offense that throws the ball more than we do. We're going to be a run first offense. We got Sire Gaines and Breezy Dubar going to be a twin-headed monster, and it's going to be an electric backfield next season, and the passing game is going to come secondary. And that's okay. That's okay for our offense. We're going to be electric, but Camper needs an opportunity to show out and show that he's ready for the next level. And I think that it will be better, or he will be better suited to do that at a school with an offense that throws the ball a lot more. If he could, I don't know if Wazoo is going to bring back the air raid or something, but that's more or less what I'm thinking. Go to an air raid type of offense, even if it's in the Sun Belt or something, and get some receiving yards. Show what you can do. And to your point about building rapport with a quarterback, that is a huge risk. But he was able to do that with Maddox this offseason. So I think he's talented enough to build that rapport with another quarterback going into another offense. He's going to have to pick and choose, but I do think he needs to give himself his best chance at showing out just for his stats. Maybe he's on a lousy team, but if he can put up the numbers, then who cares? He can go to the next level. So I think he needs to be in a more pass-happy offense. I mean, I wish for our offense, I just want to see a score. So what a run or pass, whatever helps us score. But I wish he would stay on the blue because I love watching him. He is absolutely electric. He is incredibly talented at this level. I think he doesn't get the full opportunity to showcase his talent in our offense. And maybe that will change under Potter. Maybe they can sell him with Potter and say, hey, we're going to throw the ball 60% of the time and run 40, something like that. And you're going to be wide receiver number one. I don't know. I just think as it stands with how the offense was last year, if we assume no very modest change, Camper's best shot to make into the NFL is to go elsewhere.
What do you think, Chase? Let's hear it.
Yeah, probably gonna echo some of your guys' thoughts. I don't know. I don't think Boise State's going to be. Can you hear me?
Did I just lag or did Chase just lag?
Was it me? It was probably me.
know.
Anyways, I don't think Boise State's going to be as run heavy next year. I know we got Sire Gaines. I know Breezy Dubar. I know you got some studs coming in. But I don't think you can run the ball as much as anyone did with Ashton Genty last year. Right. So there's going to be more opportunities in the passing game. And as you guys said, Camper is wide receiver 1. Like, he established himself as that last year. Coming back, he'd be the guy. Right? I know Caples is coming back, but Camper would be the guy. At the same time, like, he declared for the NFL draft. What do NFL scouts and GMs want? They draft based on potential, especially on those day 2 and day 3 picks, right? Does he have potential and the skill set to be successful in the NFL? Yeah, I think so. But does he have the tape to back that up? I mean, outside of Boise State, it's been injuries, right? And then in the transfer portal, teams are looking at him for not based on potential because they need him to contribute immediately. So as you guys said, where are those teams, those pass happy teams? San Jose State, Hawaii. I'm just trying to think of the West Coast teams that throw the ball around the yard a lot. And this is anything. My thought with Spencer Danielson, as Chris said, he's we're still trying to figure out that situation with Cam Camper. How easy would it be for someone like Danielson to get frustrated? Dude, what are you doing? Just make a decision. Like, what are you doing to us, right? But number one, as a head coach, you never want to burn a bridge. You never even want to get a bridge warm, right? You want to always leave those bridges open and in great shape because you never know what's going to happen. Maybe Camper commits to a team out of the transfer portal and then decides, actually, you know what? I'm not feeling this anymore. And he'd be happy to come back to Boise State because of how he's treated by the head coach. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I know Danielson's not burning any bridges there with that situation. He's keeping those options open for him, treating him with respect. And the Camper saga, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. So at my core, I hope he comes back to the blue. I hope he becomes Maddox's number 1 target because I think he would help Maddox elevate his game even further and just be just a nice, not security blanket, because I think that's going to be Latrell Caples or Matt Lauder, but just an explosive option for him. That would be awesome. Just don't know if it's the best fit.
Fun question, randomly. We'll do this real quick. If Camper does not come back, and maybe even if he does, which of the incoming true freshmen do you think could see the field? We'll see the field. Which is your number 1?
Chris, I know I know who you're going to say, so I'll let you just say. I'll let you take it.
This is fun.
Well, I'll let you take it.
Quentin Brown.
Yeah.
Quentin Brown's my boy. I love his tape. I love everything about him. He runs the smoothest routes for a high school I've ever seen. I'm telling you, if this kid was 3 inches taller, which cute, nothing wrong with being your height, my man, he'd be a 5-star prospect. So yeah, Quentin Brown.
Yeah, so I was gonna say Quentin Brown, but then if Quentin Brown is 1A, 1B is Gavin Packer. I like Gavin Packer's tape. I really like him. Maybe just take a year to redshirt, but I think he's going to be a really good contributor for us. Quentin Brown, I think, is capable of some of the gadgety stuff, so I think he'll just see the field anyway this season just because of that versatility. But another one where I want to bring Quentin Brown and I just want to nurture that talent and build him and grow him a little bit more.
I'll throw another name out there though. This young man was kind of committed and was kind of quiet, didn't get much press. But Quamonte Williams,
oh yeah,
6'5",
192. He could beef up a little bit, but that doesn't mean that'll keep him off the field this year.
So we haven't given him much praise, but Quamonte could very well come in and be just as good as anybody else. So
I'm with you guys. I think Quentin Brown is probably the man. If anyone, I think he gets a chance.
But Williams has some size that we need in that room. Yep. If we're going to be a run-first offense, they got like a 6'5" wide receiver he can block. And then he can go up and moss some guys too. So, he could be a Jimmy Graham in the red zone.
Yep.
Give me sign me up for that. Yes. Thank you. I'm hyped already.
Yeah.
Well, moving on, but viewers, tell us what you think about the Cam Camper situation. It's crazy. We have no answers as of right now, but tell us what you think. Do you think are you with Chris, or do you think I'm absolutely insane? Like, just let me know. Just be nice. My ego can't handle it.
I mean, Evan's insane, but I wouldn't say that's why. Just kidding.
Well, moving on. Let's talk some Boise State basketball because they had a little bit of a rough patch there, but have bounced back. This time, no pun was intended. Let's see. They got a 66-56 win over Nevada, and then last night they took down Fresno State, the Fresnex, 82-60.
What was their bowl game? The Fresno State Bulldogs.
I wasn't sure if I could get away with saying that one, so I was like, the Fresnex.
No, you can get away with it.
That was great.
That meme is goated.
Yeah, it
is. So let's see. They play UNLV on Tuesday and then San Jose State on Friday. Chris, you are the big basketball fan here. We're all trying our best, but you're the true fan. Tell us what you think about these wins and Boise State basketball right now.
Well, I mean, these last two, Nevada and Fresno, although Nevada just upset UNLV last night, so I could beat my words. But these were two must wins. You can't take those losses. Boise State has had some disappointing games, but all of them were against teams that you could just say were better. But Nevada and Fresno were definitely a little bit worse. UNLV coming up on Tuesday. That's a big game. Just to keep some momentum, honestly. This team finally feels like they're kind of getting some traction. It's been just one thing or another that's not going right. The biggest mystery and question mark for me is what's going on with Omar Stanley. Omar, I don't know if he's injured. He's not starting. Preseason, I believe, second team All Mountain West player. I would argue with anyone that preseason was going to be as important to this team as Degenhardt. And to be not even starting is shocking, honestly. So I'm not sure if he's hurt or what's going on. He just seems a little off. If this team wants to get back their season back on track, it's going to start with Omar Stanley because he's just that difference maker. Cardenas is doing his thing and being amazing. Degenhardt is being Dyson Degenhardt. He just gets the most quiet 22 points a night. And then you got Andrew Meadow who's getting hot. And some of these young kids they show us flashes. Julian Bowie has a very bright future. Lockhart seems like maybe he might be in Rice's doghouse right now, and that's fine. That happens. He'll earn his way back. And then Peanut Carmichael is a stud. That kid's gonna be the next Degenhardt. He's outstanding. But in general, this team don't give up on them, y'all. Okay, there are some huge games coming up that San Diego State, New Mexico, Utah State. I mean, they have opportunities for redemption against these really good teams. I know I was not at the game, but I know the attendance for yesterday's game was lacking. Don't give up on them. We have to continue to support this team. The student section looked deserted. We can't have that. It was a 2:00 tip-off, y'all. Come on. Go to the game and then go out and party afterwards. Come on now.
So to be fair, they were all probably up at Bogus.
Well, yeah.
Fine. I'm not a skier or snowboarder, so I did not even consider that option. But
I only thought of that because today, February 2nd?
Second.
Paulsbo, Washington got its first snow of the year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I woke up to snow in my yard.
Oh. I mean, in Boise, we've had like 2 skiffs. That's about it.
Yeah, we got rain over here in the Twin Falls area.
Yeah, we got tons of it. But just don't give up on this team. There's still opportunities for redemption. Do they still have a shot at a at large bid? I don't know. Maybe not.
They can't lose it again.
They certainly can't lose again.
Yeah.
But don't let's continue to love on this team. Enjoy Tyson Degenhardt. I said he puts up the most quiet 22 points a night. Well, enjoy that because not many are going to do that. So, but get to Extra Mile or what is it? Yeah, it's still Extra Mile. Sorry, I assumed I called it Taco Bell Arena there for a second.
I was gonna say, were you about to call it Extra Quiet?
Extra. Well, that's
the nickname.
That's another good one. That's a dad joke right there. Get there on Friday against San Jose, and then let's see, what day is it? February 19th, New Mexico. Team that's number one in the Mountain West right now is coming in.
Yeah,
so
if you look at the Mountain West standings, New Mexico's 10-1 in the conference.
Yeah.
Utah State's 9-2, just beat Utah State on a.
Yeah.
There's some controversy in that game, like there always is in the Mountain West, especially on the road. It's interesting. Omar Stanley had a good game yesterday. That's encouraging. Yeah. Let's see if he can. And I just want to say, basketball was my first love, guys. I was a really good bench warmer on my teams in high school growing up and everything, and I love basketball, and I've followed Boise State basketball for years and years and years, and it's had its ups and downs. And Boise State has won the games it's supposed to and dropped, in conference and dropped some games that had chances to win. So going forward, they're entering a big stretch of games over the next few weeks. So.
And hope isn't completely lost for this season for getting into the tournament. Like, the conference is still wide open. The Boise State is still a great shot at winning the conference. And if you win the conference, you get in.
Yep.
Oh, and I just a real quick rant. I will argue with anyone that this team, when they get all right, is better equipped to win an NCAA tournament game than the past three.
I agree.
Just
they actually have a real point guard this year.
Yeah, Alvaro Cardenas is amazing. So just get in and get this team right and take it from there.
If they can figure it out, it will be magic on the court.
Yeah.
So, like, do your part, fans. Show up, show out, be loud, don't sit, stand.
Yes, stand up.
Go Broncos. Moving on, because we've got a little bit of Pac-12 intrigue. Little Pac-12 after dark, if you will.
Is it dark here yet? Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, well, just mess up my entire joke. That's fine.
I was just confirming it.
People don't realize this is actually just an Evan comedy podcast.
That's what it is.
That's where I try out all my jokes but before I take them to the clinic.
There you go.
Anyways, so we've got a little bit of discourse going on online about the Pac-12 and potential media deal and what some numbers being thrown around that are completely, people are kind of just guessing. It's educated guessing, but they're guessing. So nothing official. So the number that's being thrown out is 9 to 10 million per team. Again, that's nothing official, and that would not be the total revenue from the media deal. There's other stuff in there. We have the lawsuit. Now, the lawsuit, honestly, I think is the more interesting thing because that's going to drive conference realignment more than the media deal. So the lawsuit is the Pac-12 filed a lawsuit against the Mountain West Conference over the exit fees. And their argument is not fully clear to me. Maybe Chase or Chris can illuminate me on that argument. But what I have read is they've got a decent case somehow, some way, through the legalese. I wish we had Carter here. Through the legalese, they've got a decent case. So if they can get the Mountain West to drop the poaching fees, the Mountain West would not have the money to pay the schools under their new grant of rights, which would then free up schools such as UNLV to potentially come to the Pac-12 if they were to get invited, and Air Force to then go join the rest of the academies in the American. And then the Pac-12, which is already, or the Pac-12, Mountain West, which is already, in my mind, a zombie conference, it just blows up even worse.
Yeah.
So
it does what the old WAC did. And maybe you mentioned this, Evan, but there's been some renewed chatter about Memphis.
Yeah.
On maybe even like Texas State or some of those Texas schools. I've seen some of that. In my mind, and this is the opinion of Chase Glorfield, Memphis is the number one target for the Pac-12.
Yeah, not
and
even. Yeah.
I don't see how it doesn't end with Memphis joining. And the numbers got to be right money-wise, and that's why this lawsuit is so important. And billable hours are racking up for these attorneys for these conferences and everything, and let them figure it out. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy football while I can, but I just don't see how it doesn't end with Memphis in the Pac-12.
Yeah, but I think they very much see the landscape changing. They want that last helicopter out of Vietnam. They want to be a part of the best of the rest conference. I think they have to have it make financial sense. Yeah. They are very interested, but they can't go bankrupt over it.
Well, and I'm sorry, I can't think of the name, but the new Pac-12 commissioner, I can't think of her name, but I know, like I would hope, I guess not, I would hope that there's been communication with Memphis. Hey, what do the numbers need to look like for you to jump? And it's not well, what about this? Okay, come back a month later. Well, what about this number, right? There's got to, I'm hoping those boxes have been checked and those information's come across and the open lines of communication. So it's not a throw something at the wall and hope and pray it sticks, right? So they have a target to get to.
Now the Memphis news, it's all contingent on this March 25th. And man, I really wish we had Carter here because the decision is not on March 25th itself. It's when they're hearing the arguments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the decision could come later. So again, it's hurry up and wait on this. Now,
and even then they could file, like a, it'll get lengthened out. We're going to appeal this. It's going to be years probably before it officially gets checks get written and cashed. And who knows what'll happen in the meantime. Sorry to cut you off, Evan.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good because this is we need our lawyer here to fully explain the nuances of the legal process. But from what I have been hearing is that the potential Texas State movement isn't contingent on this. They're campaigning, and then Sacramento State is also campaigning. I think they are.
No. I'd take Texas State over Sac State all day.
Truth be told, I would take Texas State over UNLV. I think it's more useful to get into Texas for like a recruiting standpoint. And it's a school that actually like they have put some investment into their programs. Like they could
up and coming program for sure. Sure.
Up and coming, and they're less obnoxious.
And they don't have UNLV Rebel Girl on their fan base. So
I just have a distaste for Vegas sports with all the gambling and everything. I just have a strong distaste for it. I don't like it. What is their sports culture? There isn't one, and I don't like it. So I'll take a little school from San Marcos.
Evan hates
Texas.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Let's just say it.
Just say it.
Evan hates Vegas and
well,
all of Nevada.
I will go there when they get when the Oakland A's officially move there. I will go there because I got crossed that stadium off my list.
Oh yeah.
But so I'll go to Vegas once in my life. But like, meh.
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 If you want to roast Evan, that's how you find him on it.
Oh no! Here we go. I've angered another group of people. Oh boy! All right,
Las Vegans are coming after you now.
Who did I tick off last time?
I don't remember.
I went after the whole state of Arkansas last time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I stand by it. Anyways, that's a place I will never go. Anyway, so Frank Miley is probably back at Boise State. Yeah.
Uncle Frank is the Utah State fans I know call him. Uncle Frank.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
This is a huge coup for Boise State. BJ Rains reported this. And Jay Tust, I believe, confirmed. There hasn't been an official announcement. Frank Miley, he was the defensive line coach at Washington State. He comes back to Boise State as an analyst. Now, Washington State's had a bit of upheaval with a new coaching staff there. So I believe that must have left Frank out of a job. And so he's come back to his old stomping grounds on the blue. As an analyst, that's an interesting pickup. But, I mean, this is
he's overqualified for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just like Dirk Cutter is overqualified to be an offensive analyst, we're really just improving the brain trust in Boise. So like that's huge to me. And like he can go talk to Jabril Frazier a little bit, coach him up. That's going to be awesome.
Well, that's one of those things where you welcome him in and just kind of hope that you can stockpile him away till somebody leaves. And
he came to Boise State the last time Utah State had a coaching issue, and he was the interim head coach, and a bunch of Utah State fans wanted him to stick around as the head coach.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. And he came to Boise State and stuck out. Was it a year or two? And
he was awesome.
Yeah, he was great.
Like, great recruiter, great coach, like developer of the defensive line. Like that, this is an exciting get for us. I believe Jabril Frazier was his replacement. So
I believe you're right.
Yeah, and just you said, Evan, just having the brain trust and the minds that are there as analysts for Boise State with a young OC and a defensive coordinator who's coming along really well, I think, who's learning a lot. It's just good to have those extra people there to share ideas.
So in other fun news, Ashton Genty went and got the Doak Walker Award, so that was fun for that. Go check out the official Boise State Twitter or Instagram page, and you can see some fun pictures of Ashton Genty getting the Doak Walker Award.
Man, I'm gonna miss him. Watching our opener for this podcast, I'm gonna miss him. Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, so we lost Chris. He's just going to plug in his laptop, and he will be right back. So this was a planned absence, but we're on to our fun topics anyway, because viewers, we have some extra bit of stupidity coming from the state of Nebraska.
Always.
This is actually no shade on Nebraska, because I would love to go to Omaha for the College World Series. I love baseball, and just being there for that'd be so freaking cool. Lincoln and the city of Omaha, they seem really cool. But it's the University of Nebraska that's coming out with this latest stupidity, because they don't want to play their spring game because they're afraid of poaching. Like, what?
In front of fans, yeah.
They're still gonna do. I mean, they're still presumably gonna do a scrimmage. The guys are still gonna know where they're at on the depth chart. They're still gonna see guys transfer out. They're still gonna see guys transfer in. This will do a
is it just gonna be like a closed spring game? Is that the plan, to go through all that and just not let anyone in?
And last year 60,000 fans attended the spring game. Like in Lincoln, they have like this record for selling out their games. That is a fan base that loves themselves some football. That is awesome. I got nothing but love for that fan base. So like all the Nebraska stupid comments, that's really just aimed at Matt Rule. So I don't want any angry Nebraskans.
He's a quirky guy. He's kind of unique, and he does some things that kind of make us scratch our heads. And I wonder if, as we get closer to it, he may change his mind. I don't know, but it's just, what's the point? It's kind of like, there's been some stuff from Boise State coaches where they close the. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get the point, but
think about like just the I don't know if they let the fans in for free or not. Kind of like with Boise State, like it's a free scrimmage, but they sell concessions. Like, are you kidding me?
And all that stuff? Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if Nebraska needs that money. I think they got some donors.
Sure,
but I agree. Your poaching's gonna poach no matter what.
Poacher's gonna poach.
Poacher's gonna poach.
That's a Taylor Swift song, isn't it?
I just saw that headline, and again, I'm just like, Matt Rule, you big dumb.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Go back to the Panthers.
Yeah.
I don't think the Panthers are interested.
I don't think they are either.
All right, I'm gonna stop being such a hater. Anyways, moving on to more fun topics to round out the end of this podcast. Former Boise State all-WAC second team offensive lineman Clayton Adams. He gets the job as offensive coordinator for Chris's own Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones loves him some Broncos. So we get another one joining the newly minted head coach Brian Schottenheimer's staff. Chris, how excited are you?
I'm excited about Clayton Adams. I kind of feel a little timid about it. Maybe as I could view him more as a sacrificial lamb at this point. Schottenheimer is going to call. Schottenheimer is still going to be the OC. So Clayton Adams is going to do more behind the scenes stuff and be a really, really good offensive line coach. Don't get me wrong. He's amazing at that. But yeah, I'm really happy to have another Boise State guy on the Cowboys. I was just hoping it would be a certain lefty quarterback.
I could be wrong, Chris, but this has got a feel of a one-hit patch that the NFL teams sometimes do, where you hire a guy for a year that is not gonna stick around for a year. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Schottenheimer ends up being incredible and does some amazing things, but it's just got the feel. The 49ers did it with Jim Tomsula and freaking Chip Kelly, and I don't know. It's just got that vibe to it.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like it's gonna last.
Yeah.
I'm not hopeful, but hey,
good for Clayton Adams though. Get that paycheck, Clayton.
Yeah, I mean, he's never been an OC before that I've seen. I decided to go year by year, but happy for him that he can get that on his resume, and I will still be rooting on the Cowboys and hope it's the best. So maybe old Jerry Jones isn't quite as off the rocker.
Really had to search for the right adjectives on that one.
Yeah, sure did.
All right, on to our last couple fun topics of the podcast. We've got Kellen Moore in the Super Bowl. Kellen Moore, obviously, is the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. He will be coaching the Super Bowl, but per Dirk Cutter, seems like he's pretty much got that job down in New Orleans. New Orleans Saints head coach Kellen Moore. How does that sound, guys?
There's a reason the Saints haven't announced a head coach yet. They're waiting for the Super Bowl to get over.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Dirk Cutter said it, but he's been talking to people and working on getting a staff together for New Orleans. I mean, it's all but a done deal. Like it's going to happen.
My concern is that Philadelphia, does this kind of, I don't want to say distract Kellen, but does this take away from his preparation for the Chiefs? And do they lay an egg in the Super Bowl and hand the Chiefs the three-peat?
I hope not.
Maybe, I don't know. At this point.
I just feel like the Super Bowl, it's 2 weeks, and starting tomorrow, you're going to have the whole Super Bowl week. It's just media, a ton of stuff. I felt like as a coach and as a player, you would just get tired of all of that. And maybe this would be a good, I don't want to say distraction, but a good way for Kellen to kind of not get his head stuck in all that media stuff and all the interviews and everything has to do for Super Bowl week. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe it'll provide a good outlet for him, I guess.
Yeah. Well, hey, as a Seahawks fan, I have to say it's like, I'm good. Definitely keep an eye on the Saints. Could be pulling for them quite a bit. Also, kind of weirdly enough, could be pulling for the Raiders a bit with them hiring Pete Carroll.
That was weird. That came out of nowhere for me.
It's super weird, but I want to see Pete Carroll succeed. So I'm like, I hate the Raiders, but
packs of gum in the Las Vegas area better watch out. Pete Carroll's in town.
Well, you know what? Only redeeming quality about Las Vegas is now Pete Carroll is there. Only redeeming quality.
Nope, you said you hated it. Don't even.
Oh no, I still hate it. Still hate it. Still hate it. Only redeeming quality though.
Again, there. That's how you find it.
Right there.
All right. Well,
while you're there yelling at him, follow him too. So.
Yeah, follow him. Yeah, follow him.
The Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday, and for those of you who are living under a rock, it's Kansas City versus Philadelphia again. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say all right, fine. That's what it is. We live in the worst timeline. It is what it is. So Chase, I guess I'll start with you. Who would you rather see win this crappy game?
Man, I don't know.
You got a three-peat on one side that hasn't been done since before the Super Bowl era.
I don't know. I just I don't think there's anything unlikable about the Chiefs. I just think people get tired of seeing the same thing. And I think the way they've won some of the games, like it just seems so lucky this year. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, they're gonna win the Super Bowl on like a field goal that bounces at the 15-yard line and then bounces across the bar and they're gonna count it or something. Something weird is gonna happen. And I think people are just gonna be like, man, I'm tired of this. And for the NFL, you want dynasties. For any professional sports league, you want dynasties. But I think Jalen Hurts winning a Super Bowl and that crew, they got Carter, the big nose tackle who just wrecks games all the time.
Yeah.
The kid from Georgia is in there.
Mhm.
It would be, as a neutral fan, don't care about these two teams. It would be fun to see something new, some new blood, and to create more storylines going into next year about like, can the Saints get back up, or can the Chiefs get back to the top? Like that sort of stuff. So I'll probably be pulling for the Eagles, as much as my wife will hate that, being a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'd probably pulling for the Eagles.
There you go. Chris, yeah, you're the one who's probably got the worst. You're a Cowboy fan here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with Chase. I think there's plenty of unlikable things about the Chiefs. If I have to see Taylor Swift more than 5 times, which I will barf.
That's not the Chiefs' fault, but
Yeah.
you're right. But you're right.
Yeah.
Well, and my wife thinks that every time they show Travis Kelce, they also need to show Taylor Swift. Her interest is because they show Taylor Swift. So that's a whole other demographic that they're trying to bring eyeballs to the screens.
Right.
Yep.
I know. I get it. I think the whole relationship is fake. But hey, and it can't.
Conspiracy theories by Chris.
There has to be a bet that if the Chiefs win, Kelsey's going to propose on the field, right? There has to be
a prop bet for that, for sure.
For sure. And I will just vomit and just move on with my life.
Those nachos you ate are gone.
Yeah. No, it's actually not as hard as Evan said. I'm rooting for the Eagles.
Okay.
Tired of seeing the Chiefs get all these lucky calls
oh my goodness, just that's so annoying.
So rooting for Kellen Moore. I'm rooting for Kellen Moore. How about
there? You go. That's a good reason to root for him. Yeah. Absolutely.
So.
Well, there's one thing I like about, or I dislike, I should say, about the Chiefs, and it's more of a personal thing because I don't dislike Patrick Mahomes. I think he's amazingly talented. Seems like a very good person, but it's the way his voice sounds.
Kermit the Frog.
It grates on my soul, and every time I hear him, I want them to dub over his voice.
Dude, he's in every commercial now too. It's just I can't get away from it.
The sound that it makes, it hurts me. And I just want no. So I can't do it.
I have a different reason for not liking Patrick Mahomes. He eats steak with ketchup. That is a disgrace.
All right, you've convinced me.
Yeah. That is against.
Well, I will say that's
nice un-American.
It is.
Awful.
Thank you.
The Super Bowl's in New Orleans this year, right? So Kellen can just already be moved into his new place. This is perfect. This is gonna work out for him.
Yeah, just go win the Super Bowl, go home, just get some gumbo, and there you go.
And pick up a Cajun accent. Let's go, Kellen.
I'm very softly rooting for the Eagles here, just I don't love the way Eagles fans treat other people. That stadium environment seems
they booed Santa Claus. Come on.
They're proud of it, and I'm like, you should reassess your life choices here, or reconsider. This is not. You are not as cool as you think you are. But anyways, that's just a whole thing, or whole other thing. Kellen Moore's the offensive coordinator. I'll root for him to get a ring.
Yep.
Because who knows if he's going to get one in New Orleans. That roster is very limited.
Yeah, their front office needs to make some investments for that team.
Is David Carr still there? He's still a quarterback there, right? Or
Derek Carr is going to return likely as the starter. Who knows if they look at a quarterback in this draft class? I hope they don't.
A Boise State guy coaching a Fresno
guy. And
isn't Jake Haener there too?
Yeah. Oh, you're
Yeah.
right.
And Taysom Hill's there still,
and
right?
Spencer Rattler, just a whole bunch of
Oh, yeah,
unlikable
just like,
individuals.
yeah.
Oof.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, so Kellen Moore, did he beat David or Derek Carr? No, David Carr was
I don't think he did
Years
either.
and years ago, yeah.
Yeah. I
But
think he was in the middle.
did 2011 Kellen Moore beat a junior Derek Carr? Because his senior, I remember, as a big thing for his senior year, he kept the Boise State flag in his locker, and that we had that wild shootout in Fresno in the Southwick year, in one of the Southwick years.
I don't think they ever crossed paths. I don't
They
think
did.
Oh, they did. Okay, I'm wrong.
Is it?
Boise State beat Derek Carr's Fresno State team 57-7 in 2011.
Yeah, that was my freshman year.
man.
I remember, like, I was
Carr
watching that.
Carr was a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah, did he
Nice.
start that game?
I don't know.
Is that?
No,
Yeah,
I think he did. Yeah, I think
that was my freshman year.
He was
of
17
college.
of 30 for 126 yards and an interception. Carr was.
Oh,
It's real bad.
There we go. I knew there was something there. I wonder how that's gonna go. Well, anyways, viewers, let us know your Super Bowl predictions in the comments below. I hope you have enjoyed our podcast. Once again,
I got one more thing. Actually, two for Chase.
Yes.
Please explain who that is. That handsome man is that's over your shoulder.
This
in the
is
January
people are gonna
challenge.
wonder.
Yes, this is my boy Ernest Hemingway. He's my favorite author. He lived in Idaho and died in Idaho. His grave's up in the Wood River, Haley area, Sun Valley area. I'm an English teacher, as some of you know, and we're about to start our Ernest Hemingway unit. We're going to read The Old Man of the Sea, so I wanted to represent my boy Ernest Hemingway. So,
And then I want to ask you about completing the January challenge.
guys, I did this
almost forgot.
challenge where I tried to get through every day of January, and I did it.
Hey,
It was a long month, let me tell you.
Yeah, I did too, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get those out.
Yeah, sorry.
People are going to ask about who this handsome man is over Chase's shoulder.
No,
I'm very jealous of his beard. Oh,
I know,
my goodness.
right?
And thank you, Chris. I totally brain farted. I was like, okay, what was the January challenge? I totally forgot to ask. Anyways, viewers, let us know in the comment section below what you think for the Super Bowl or any of the topics that we covered today. Whose hot take was the worst? Am I too much of a hater? Let us know. But for now, that is all for today's podcast. We are trying to bring content to you guys as often as we can. Right now, we've kind of been on an every other week schedule. We will see about a podcast this weekend with National Signing Day. We might have a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. But at least you can.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
If you have ideas for content, please just drop them in the comments.
We have considered going on the socials and posting like, hey, what content do you guys want us to cover? Is there anything like we can broaden our horizons a little bit, learn a few different things? So we're happy to, if you want something from us, we're happy to give it to you. So let us know in the comments section below. And thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely evening. Go Broncos.